So before we start today, Matt, I'm going to tweet on the Good Stuff Twitter account. What do you think exploding head syndrome is? And then maybe at the end we'll check. Hopefully we remember to do that. Hopefully I spelled syndrome right. I did, right?
Yep.
Syndrome.
Yep.
Cool. I tweeted it. So today that's what we're going to talk about.
What do you think exploding head syndrome is?
I actually know what it is.
What is it?
Well, do I want to say
This might be an illusion of knowledge, which is an example of...
That's true. Do I want to say what it is right now? Or
what do you think it is? What do you...
Well, I've learned through our shooting of the sleep playlist from a doctor that exploding head syndrome is when you're asleep, you hear a loud bang and you wake up.
Well, yeah, that's basically what it is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, have you ever experienced it?
Just a second, I'm gonna retweet that tweet I made on Wheezy Waiter. But yeah, I have not experienced it.
I have experienced that.
You have?
And it's basically exactly what you said. It sounds like a loud bang, like either like a door being slammed or like a gunshot or something going off nearby, but I guess it's inside of your head, and you wake up. It's pretty weird, it's pretty visceral. It feels like kind of like, it's almost like, when you sort of like, you have a dream of falling, like you wake up, but it sounds like, it kind of feels like, something kind of exploded inside of you. Something exploded near you. I
mean, I've had the dream of falling and waking up. Like I think almost everyone has that, where like I'll be dreaming that I'm walking on the sidewalk and I trip, and then I'm like, whoop, when I wake up.
Yeah.
I've had that.
But this isn't really associated with dreaming at all.
But I've also had where I've just woken up and not remembered why. I just like, I'm going to sleep, and then I just like, boom, boom. But I don't experience a bang.
Yeah.
I have experienced a bright light. I have experienced like a bright flash of light.
Well, that is a part of this. And
okay.
I've experienced that too. Well, what I've experienced is like associated with the noise, there'll be like this sort of visual like static. Like will like flash in front of my eyes, like almost like TV static.
Yeah.
And that's a part of this.
Okay.
And it's called closed eye hallucinations.
Interesting.
And this is also, do you remember, and I remember this mostly when I was a kid. And I can sort of do it a little bit now, but I usually don't pay attention. But do you remember like going to sleep when you were a kid and you're like seeing like lights behind your eyes, like, or like, like colors or, I don't know, it's just like.
I'm trying right now.
And I don't know if you can just do it right. But like I remember as a kid like seeing like lights and stuff, when you'd fall asleep, you kind of laying in bed, and you could like, you'd be like kind of like static, or like you'd see like patterns or something,
I mean, I do see like pattern. I still do that. Like if I'm like, if you're getting like fainty, you see like stars.
No. This doesn't have to do with like with fainting or anything like that. But you just lay down, you close your eyes, and you see like patterns of color and things like that.
I don't know.
I mean, when I was a kid, I used to like sit in bed and I'd see these patterns, and you could like, for a while, you could like learn to, you can kind of control them, and then they make shapes and eventually make objects and things like that. And this is a part of the closed eye hallucination thing. Okay. And there's like different levels to it. Level one is you see this visual noise. You see these kind of like random staticky like light patterns beneath your closed eye, beneath your eyes. And then there's level two, where you can sort of like start manipulating them and make like there be areas of blackness, some areas of like brightness, and like there'll be some colors. Level three is when you can start making like patterns and like sort of like fractal type things happening in your eyes. Level four, you start creating objects and like images and things like that. And then that's about as far as I ever got. Level five is when the hallucinations continue after you open your eyes. So like all the whatever images or colors you were seeing persist after you open your eyes.
Yeah.
Which seems really crazy.
Wow.
But it's something that happens.
All the way to level 5. Is that when you fight Bowser?
Yeah, it seems like. I mean, I think you have to go to level 8, right?
Yeah, level 8 to fight Bowser. Well, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But going back to exploding head syndrome, they're not really sure what causes it.
But it's like, is it similar among multiple people? Do you know? Like it's like.
Well, as far as I can tell, I mean, there hasn't been much study into it.
Yeah.
But what they have learned is that it's across people, it's a loud bang or even like a simple crash or something like that. And sometimes associated with like a visual static or flashes of light. Not always, doesn't have to be. But that's what it is.
Do you experience that? Let us know in the comments. I don't think I've ever really experienced that. I've experienced loud roommates. I've experienced. I remember one time I was sleeping at a friend's house, and when I was younger, and my friend whacked my head with a pillow while I was asleep. And that was terrible. That was kind of like an exploding head syndrome, I imagine.
What a terrible friend.
It just, I was dreaming, and then suddenly it felt like pins and needles all over my face, and then I just woke up. And then there he was with the pillow, just like above me.
Why did he do it?
He was a jerk. I mean, I was probably not nice to him a lot either. So.
Oh, he was getting back at you.
Could be, but that's not cool. Don't do that to people. But yeah, I haven't really experienced it. And
well, there are some theories about what causes it.
Okay,
One is that it might be a tiny seizure in the temporal lobe that around the nerve cells that are affecting like audio,
audio.
We know
sounds.
Yeah, where hearing occurs within the brain.
Yeah.
So there's some sort of tiny seizure. Or there may be a sudden movement of your middle ear, parts that actually like simulates a loud sound, but it's just like a tiny little movement that happens. When
you wake up, do you feel like your ear is like ringing? Is it like what happens when a loud bang happens when you're awake?
I wouldn't. It kind of. It's not really like a sound actually happened. It's more like. But there is like a certain like feeling of like a sound happening.
Yeah.
So it's not like ringing like that, but it's more like an emotional like response.
How often
to the
does
sound.
this happen to you?
I don't know. Maybe once or twice a month.
Once or twice a month, really?
Yeah.
Sounds terrible.
It's not that bad, really. I don't think. It just wakes you up.
Okay.
And it's a little startling at the time, but you're like, oh, whatever. Just like when you feel like you're falling or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a little scary at the time, but like you realize, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Go back to sleep.
Well, it's got a terrible name.
It does.
Head
seems
syndrome.
It seems like it should be something that happens to astronauts in outer space when their helmets come off or something.
Yeah. I'm gonna check what other people think the name means right now because I tweeted. Remember back at the beginning of this?
You ever see the movie Scanners?
I have parts of it.
Like I think that would be an example of exploding head syndrome.
That should be exploding head syndrome, where heads actually explode.
Yeah, I remember when one of the doctors at Stanford was talking about exploding head syndrome, and the first thing that came to mind was, oh, somebody falls asleep, and in their sleep, their head explodes, or or maybe just their brain, liquefies.
Wow.
But it wasn't that.
So someone said holding a sneeze. Someone said headaches. Both wrong. Sorry. Someone said that there was a D news on this. Yeah. There's going to be others who talk about this. Nothing's original, guys. We just like to talk about this.
Like were they mad that we were talking about it?
No, I don't know if they were mad. They're just saying that. Let's see. Does it involve elephantiasis?
Elephantitis?
No, not elephantitis.
Elephantiasis?
Maybe that was a typo. Elephantitis. What is elephantitis?
Isn't that when like parts of your body get really big, like swell up or something?
That's maybe.
Or like,
There's
is that like
gigantism?
Elephantitis should be like a form of gigantism, right?
I don't know. That's for another topic, I think.
Was elephantitis what the Elephant Man had?
Maybe. That makes sense. I mean, he's the Elephant Man.
No, I don't think he did have elephantitis. He had didn't he just have I forget what he had. Wasn't it like just a bad form of
headache?
Headache?
I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm going to try not to be that insensitive about his condition. Anything else on exploding head syndrome?
No, it's just weird, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really weird that like the closed eye hallucination thing is really strange. And when I was a kid, I always wondered what it was. And I kind of thought that everybody did it. You know,
Everyone does it. Everyone has those hallucinations. No, I don't think I do. I mean, I get, you get visions when you're falling asleep.
Yeah,
you get weird visions.
It's different. It's different than like sort of your imagination. It's like you're actually like looking at things on the back of your eyelids, and those things can kind of become stuff. And I had a friend in elementary school where like we'd have sleepovers, and we'd both like talk about like what we were seeing on our eyelids.
Interesting. You had some freaky friends.
I guess so.
I mean,
still do.
I think it's the twilight period of sleep, right? When you're falling asleep.
Yeah, well, it happens usually within like the first hour.
There's always weird things that happen. I remember, I think I was your roommate, and I remember you and someone else talking or something as I was falling asleep, and I remember like half being asleep, half waking up, and at one point, like hearing what everyone was saying in slow motion, but like in the actual like what you hear. When you slow down audio on a computer, it gets really low. It sounded exactly like that. It was like, and then I snapped out of it and then went back to normal.
Huh.
Which was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I don't think we've ever had that happen.
I have. Twilight sleep is pretty interesting. Speaking of sleep, we have a sleep playlist coming up.
All about sleep.
May
18th.
If you've seen our update video before this, you'll understand why we're wearing these shirts.
Why we've been wearing these shirts every day.
Yeah. PBS every day. I've never watched this.
It's actually part of the contract.
Yeah, we have to never. I shower in it, so it's kind of being washed.
Yeah, it's damp right now.
Yeah. No, but we're partnered with PBS Digital, and we have a playlist coming out May
18th.
Sleep, and that's why we're talking about sleep right now.
Yeah.
We don't talk about this in the playlist. That's why we're talking about it in Topic Town.
Yeah, there's too much stuff to talk about with sleep. Sleep is a huge subject, and. I mean, there's a lot of. There's only, and it's a young science. We only get to touch on like the surface. Of
we have 4 videos. 4 videos coming out. They come out one each day, and even in those 4 videos, I mean, we did our best to get as much in as we could in a very compelling, entertaining manner. Much more edited than what we're doing right here. Yeah. In more concise, but more informative, probably than just us talking.
Yeah.
So check it out, man.
18th.
We're very excited about it. And then every month, every first Monday of every month, we're going to have playlists. We're doing playlists again, Matt.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
It's good to be back.
Good to be back in the playlist format because we've been gone too long. And I missed you.
Yeah. Felt like I was getting soft, out of shape.
I know. You are.
Yeah.
Well,
that's for other reasons.
That's just aging.
Deteriorating.
All right. I think that's all for now.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you've experienced head exploding head syndrome or head exploding syndrome, which is probably the worst one.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's it.
Yeah.
See
Bye.
ya. Bye.